morning. Welcome to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Calvin Butenhoff coming to you live from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us. You can call, you can text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842. Leave a comment. If you're watching on a live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter, it is Christmas Eve.
It is, and we are here.
We're here. Glad to be here as well.
Yeah.
Glad you are here too. And we're going to do some lighter things today because it is Christmas Eve. So Luke Mathers joining us at 10:33, right after the 10:30 news. We were to talk about the Packers' big win last night.
And the Jets, huge loss this weekend.
And the Jets. Oh, yeah, and there's other AR-related news floating around out there as well. We're also going to talk with Luke about his family traditions. And then after 11 o'clock, we would like to know about yours.
Yes.
What are your family traditions for either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Something you always do, a movie you always watch, a food you have to have?
It doesn't have to be huge.
No.
It could be literally like what my family does, pizza.
You do pizza on Christmas Eve?
Yep. Every year.
I like that.
Since I was a little boy. So those are the simple traditions.
Exactly. So we will kick that around after 11 o'clock. At 11:33, we're going to do our Christmas cookie exchange.
Yeah, we are.
Which has a slight twist today. Yeah, someone forgot something, but we'll get around to that a little bit later on.
I just saw Calvin's eyebrow go up like, excuse me?
What? Yeah, there's a little wrinkle in the Christmas cookie exchange.
Okay.
And we're also going to talk about the ranking of favorite holiday treats.
Yes.
So we would love you to weigh in on that as well. And as we always do, we will wrap up the show with This Shouldn't Be a Thing. Today it's the Do You Know Why I Pulled You Over edition. It's a holiday-related This Shouldn't Be a Thing.
Jane, we're coming in tomorrow, right?
We are not going to be here tomorrow.
What?
We are off tomorrow for Christmas Day.
I thought we were going to be here tomorrow. I had jingle bells and I had so much stuff planned for our show.
You can come in if you want.
But you're not going to be here. Calvin's not going to be here.
No, and as a matter of fact, we are kicking off special programming.
Okay.
So at 4 o'clock today, Pete Schwaba, the host of Nightlight, which usually runs from 6 to 8, Pete's going to have a special Christmas Eve special from 4 to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then at 6 o'clock, we are turning to all Christmas music.
Yeah.
All through tomorrow, through all of Christmas Day. So keep Civic Media with you, whatever you're doing. We'll have some great classic holiday tunes. That starts tonight at 6 o'clock. So don't freak out tomorrow if you're in the kitchen doing whatever and you turn on the radio and you're hearing Holly Jolly Christmas.
I will be responding to the text messages, though.
You will?
If people are like, hey, why are you playing Christmas music? I can't hear Jane and Greg or Earl. I'll be like, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We're off. So, yes, Christmas music starts tonight at 6 p.m. and will run through, I believe, midnight until tomorrow night. So join us for that. And happy holidays, and be safe, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
This was not a good start to the morning, at least for folks who are flying on American Airlines. This has been since rectified, but the FAA earlier this morning issued a nationwide ground stop for all American Airlines flights because of a technical issue affecting flights. The FAA said they issued the ground stop at Americans' request on, of course, one of the busiest travel days of the year. Fortunately, it got resolved in about an hour.
And also, when you go flying on Christmas Eve, I feel like you build in
snafus.
Yeah, like you should like buffer your expectations. Like they can happen, probably will. And an hour in Christmas Eve travel time, nothing. That's nothing.
That's nothing. I have never I don't think I've ever traveled on Christmas Eve.
Not on Christmas. I've traveled for Christmas. We went to Los Angeles one year. By the way, totally suggest it. Everyone should go to Los Angeles
for Christmas.
Yes, for one time. Just go one time. It's amazing.
Really?
You wake up on the 23rd or the 24th, it's 74 degrees outside. One of the best features about Christmas in Los Angeles is that that's mostly a very transient town. So like 2 million people leave.
Oh, wow.
So the traffic lightens. It just feels like less people.
I had never considered that. And I've only been out there once.
Yeah.
And that was enough.
Oh, I love Los Angeles.
You do.
I love visiting Los Angeles, but I think that everyone should spend Christmas in Los Angeles one time.
One time.
Just to try it out.
Well, go maybe a couple days before Christmas Eve.
That's what we did. Exactly.
Just to make sure you get out there on time. But again, everything is back up and running for American Airlines, and I hope everyone gets to their destination safely. That would have been unfortunate if this turned into an hours long.
Oh my
'cause
gosh.
that would screw things up probably even into tomorrow.
If they were still waiting there right now.
Yeah. No. Happy flying.
Yeah.
Something else that popped up this morning from WISN. Milwaukee considers snowplow fee refund for inadequate snow removal. Alderman Peter Burgelis, Alderwoman Charlene Moore, Alderman Robert Bauman, and Alderwoman Andrea Pratt suggesting this after they got dozens of complaints from their constituents reporting unsafe road conditions after we got that snow on December 20th. So
Yeah.
the city of Milwaukee got about 4 inches. I live in the city of Milwaukee.
Mhm.
It wasn't great.
No, and honestly, but you live out more in the suburbs area where the streets are a little wider.
Yes.
Whenever I think of snow removal in Milwaukee, I think of like the
East side.
and River West. And I'm thinking to myself, how far back are those refund fees going to go? Because
The east side gets it's such a nightmare
they
down
get
there.
turned into one ways.
Yeah, they really do because
Yeah.
the streets are so narrow.
Yeah.
The release said that major roads were clear, but many neighborhood streets weren't salted or plowed.
Jeez.
And one of the aldermen says the snowplow fee added up to more than $11 million last year.
What?
These neighborhoods all pay the same property tax as everyone else does, and they pay the same municipal services snowplow fee, but they don't get that quality of service. Robert Bauman also said uncollected leaf piles, new traffic calming measures, and a drop-off in enforcement of winter parking rules has also led to the snow pickup problems. The leaves were a big issue.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that as well. Too.
I'm pretty sure that they didn't pick up the final piles until they had to move that snow because it snowed right on top of them. And my husband had suggested once, because they like to come around and pick up the leaves on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me about a month ago when he was out there blowing leaves again for the 10th time, he said, why do they do this on Saturdays before everyone is done blowing their leaves? He said, why don't, come on Monday
Yeah.
after the weekend, after everybody's done doing their yard work,
Mm-hmm.
would make more sense.
Eh,
Eh,
your suggestions and your problems don't matter. A tinker's cuss to someone working for the city.
apparently not. I think there are a variety of issues that need to be addressed, said Robert Bauman, but this was a minor snowfall, but seriously, 4 inches isn't that much.
No.
To have the level of complaints that we had coming forward in various districts is a bad sign, and we would like to nip it in the bud. If you live in the city of Milwaukee, we'd love to hear from you at 855-752-4842. Did they plow your streets?
Yeah.
Again, we're on like 76 and Center,
Yeah.
around that area. We're right on the border of Wauwatosa.
It's literally like you can throw a ball into Tosa.
My neighbor to the south is in Wauwatosa.
Yeah.
On the
It's
same block.
Very weird.
Which makes no sense. But there were some streets in our neighborhood that really, it's like they plowed one strip,
Yeah.
and that was it.
It's very odd how Milwaukee just seems to be befuddled every single winter season. Like they've never seen snow before. Racine does an amazing job. They are like, I mean, at least when I worked there,
Yeah.
it was a crack team. Like that big winter we had in either 2012 or 2011, that February, 48 inches of snow.
yeah.
Every main street was plowed within the first day. Every arterial street was plowed within the first 24 hours.
That's impressive.
Milwaukee, they're like, we'll get to it.
Eventually,
We got leaves to pick up, though.
yeah, they were a little behind on the leaves. We want to make sure we get this right, says another alderperson. We want to make sure that we're having the correct protocols in place so we can make sure that our residents are safe.
Mm-hmm.
DPW says we look forward to a productive dialogue on this at the January 8th Public Works Committee meeting. And I have a lot of sympathy for snowplow drivers. I think they have a really tough job
Yeah.
because you tick off, no matter what you do, you're going to tick somebody off,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You make a pass,
It's not
From
good
s-
enough.
well, or it's not good enough, or it's a pass where then you plow back in the car that the people just dug out.
That's something I have very little sympathy for people. Like, when it starts snowing, then you got to be ready to start digging your car out,
Right.
or just accept what's going to happen. when you're parking on the street.
Well, I think a lot of people have taken a fatalistic attitude. It's like, it is what it is.
Yep. That's one thing I don't miss. And I feel very, very fortunate to have a garage and a driveway. And
that's a gift.
That is a wonderful, wonderful
It is a wonderful gift not to have to park on the street.
I will say I do get angry when you get done shoveling, especially down the
really hard, crunchy stuff.
The hard, crunchy stuff at the very end of the driveway that leads into the street.
Yeah.
And they just, it's 8 inches up again. You're like, well, I'm driving over it now.
When, before I got married, I had a little house in New Berlin. The driveway was really long.
Ooh.
A really long driveway.
Yeah.
And that was before I had a little snowblower. And one year, again, it was like we would get 7 inches of snow every 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you would just finish.
Yeah.
And it was getting to the point where I couldn't barely throw it over the piles.
Yeah.
And I got down to the end of the driveway and the plow came and plowed me back in, and I actually started crying.
I'm not coming into work
at the end of my driveway going, I can't take it. I can't do it anymore. And then, I don't know, I think I must have got a little snowblower at that point. And just also, too, in Madison, Madison Starbucks workers at 4 union stores have joined a national strike.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So you're going to have to go someplace else for your peppermint mocha. It's affecting 4 different Starbucks in Madison. We'll include this in the show notes if you want to know where these are. Otherwise, go to the Cap Times. You can find it in the Cap Times. And this is expected to go through Tuesday.
Dang.
Yep. So there's a strike underway at some Starbucks around the country, but now there are 4 shops in Madison that are doing that as well. All right, stay with us. When we return, this is an interesting way to bust drug dealers.
It's festive.
It's festive. You're listening to Matenaer On Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
nails are all blue, and the baby needs shoes, and I'm busted.
Good morning. Welcome to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Sweet Calby on the board, coming to you from our home at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us. Call or text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Happy Christmas Eve day. We're doing a lighter show today.
Yeah, indeed.
Lighten things up a little bit.
Keep it a little fun.
Yep, Luke Mathers will be here after the 10:30 news. We're going to talk about last night's Packers game. Woo, that was a game. Also, there's some news from Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh,
So we'll kick that around a little bit. We'll talk to Luke about the Mathers family Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
And then we would love to hear from you after 11 o'clock about what your family's traditions are, either on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a certain food, or maybe you watch a particular movie.
Or maybe you make a ton of sausages.
Yeah, like Joseph Pecky,
Yeah.
who was on yesterday. They did that over the weekend.
Yeah.
That was the weekend.
But
The
still.
weekend before Christmas. I know. A whole assembly line of sausage making. Right now, though, I saw this story this morning and just wanted to share it from NBC News. The headline reads, "Meet the Grinch who stole Christmas from alleged drug dealers."
Yeah.
Footage supplied by Peru's National Police Agency show the Grinch, complete with a Santa jacket, running down a street in southern Lima with a sledgehammer over his shoulder. Nothing says Christmas like Grinch with a sledge.
Christmas, Christmas. Whack, whack, whack.
A Peruvian police officer dressed as the Grinch led a police operation in the Peruvian capital of Lima to dismantle a drug trafficking gang. Footage supplied by the police agency shows the Grinch in a Santa jacket running down a street with a sledgehammer. He reaches a house, smashes on the door with the hammer. Other members of law enforcement arrive, and they raid a building of alleged drug dealers, one of them shouting, "Police!" before cuffing one of the suspects. The identity of the officer dressed as the Grinch has not been released. This is apparently a thing in Peru. They on Valentine's Day earlier this year, an undercover cop in a teddy bear costume showed up at the home of another alleged drug dealer, delivering a fake love surprise.
Oh, gross.
You can fill in that blank however you want.
When asked for comment, the drug dealers were like, "Man, these drugs are really good. I saw the Grinch, man. I saw a big green guy trying to hiccups on me."
Peruvian agents have also dressed up as superheroes and horror movie characters like Freddy Krueger and Jason. With the Grinch leading the way, Peru's criminals apparently now know who's in charge. I didn't make that was there.
I mean, it really upsets me though. The Grinch wasn't like, I'm here, I am the Grinch to bust you, I'm the Grinch." Like, I don't know why my Grinch started rapping, but I haven't read a Dr. Seuss novel in a
I
while.
think seeing a Grinch running down the street with a sledgehammer over his shoulder would be very concerning.
If you live there, you see they're like, "Oh, it must be Christmas time."
Right. We'll include this article in the show notes just so you can see the picture, because they took more pictures of the Grinch cuffing people.
Yes.
On the floor. It's okay.
Even if I'm getting busted for drugs, if I'm next to the Grinch, I'm still gonna be like a big smile, like, "Hey, you got me. Hey, you got me."
You do you, Peru. Also, in case you have grandchildren or children yourself, the Santa Watch, the Santa tracking has begun.
Yes.
NORAD is underway. The North American Aerospace Defense Command is based, I believe, in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
They have a phone number. If you have a little one who would like to, find out where Santa is, it's 877-446-6723. You can actually call NORAD. They've been doing this since 1958.
Yeah, and I believe Google's on top of this too. You can Google "Where's Santa"
and get an interactive map.
Yeah.
Also, if you just go to noradsanta.org, that's the website, so you can see the Santa tracker. NORAD tracks Santa, but only Santa knows his route, of course. So they cannot 100% predict where he will be and when he will be at your house. But tell the kids and the grandkids, we do, however, know from history that Santa appears only after children are asleep. You got to go to sleep.
This is amazing.
In most countries, Santa arrives between 9 p.m. and midnight on the 24th. If the kids are still awake when Santa flies over, then he has to go on to other houses and then come back later when the kids are asleep.
And that could place you on the naughty list, let me tell you. You don't go
You
to
don't
bed.
want that.
You don't leave those milk and cookies out and those carrots for the reindeer. Santa, he'll go bust some drug dealers down in South America.
Dressed as himself.
And he dresses himself, and he will use the rage of his authority to bring justice to our world.
It's a pretty cool Santa tracker.
It looks really cool.
It really does. When I checked it about an hour ago, he was approaching Indonesia.
He is right now Burmastrovo, Russia.
Okay.
And it's just great. And then what's cool is that when it goes over certain countries, you click the little camera icon, it'll come up with the country and like a little Wikipedia page so you can find out about the countries.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What a great, useful tool.
Yeah. I love it.
Check it out. Go to, it's noradsanta.org, NORAD Santa.org. And there's all kinds of stuff on there about the history of why they track him and how this started and how old Santa is. It's hard to know for sure, but NORAD intelligence indicates that Santa is at least 16 centuries old.
And I get upset when I have to go up and down stairs too many times in a day.
Think about all those
My
chimneys,
goodness,
man. All
that's a
those
lot.
chimneys,
Yeah.
all those steps.
All those kids he's getting.
All he's making happy.
Aw.
Millions and millions and
Love
millions of
it.
kids. We have news coming up next, and then when we return, our friend and colleague Luke Mathers will be here. Stay with us. You are listening to Matenaer On Air, coming to you across the vast, statewide, countrywide, global Civic Media Radio Network.
The county's gonna haul my belongings away 'cause I'm busted. I went to my brother to ask for a loan 'cause I was busted. I hate to beg like a dog without his bone, but I'm busted. My brother said there ain't a thing I can do. My wife and my kids are all down with the flu. And I was just thinking about calling on you, and I'm busted. Well, I am no thief, but a man can go wrong when he's busted. The food that we canned last summer is gone, and I'm busted. The fields are all bare, and the cotton won't grow. Me and my family got to pack up and go. But I'll make a living just where I don't know, 'cause I'm busted. I'm broke.
morning. Welcome to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Dr. Slide on the board, coming to you from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Happy Christmas Eve. We're lightening things up for the show today as we head into Christmas. And I want to make sure that we do this and congratulate our grand prize winners from our latest statewide text to win grown-up gift list contest. Huh?
Yeah, you did it.
I know.
Good job.
Chris picked up a snow blower. Evelyn picked up a robot vacuum. Angie picked up an espresso machine. Michelle got herself a humidifier. Rosemary got a robot vacuum. And by the way, Rosemary did say that she has 2 cats. And
Yes.
she's going to she will provide pictures of us, of the cats riding the robot vacuum. Anne picked up an espresso machine. Dan picked up a set of luggage, and we're still trying to contact one other grand prize winner. But thanks to everyone who entered, it was a lot of fun. Todd Alba Show, they beat us again. They beat us again.
I'm going to say this: they got more votes than we did. To say they beat us, there's a certain sense of like, beat the stuffing out of us. We were right on their tails. Right on. Look at me in the camera, Todd Alba, right now. Right on your tail.
Well, we'll give it another shot next time. We'll be chasing that Todd Alba Show.
Yeah.
But thanks to everyone who entered. We really had a good time with that. Delighted to be joined by our friend and colleague Luke Mathers is here wearing his Santa hat. Good morning, sir. You're looking good.
I'm trying
I
to
like
be as
it.
festive as I can.
I like it a lot. We're going to talk to you in just a little bit about Mathers family Christmas traditions. And then after 11 o'clock, we'd love to hear from all of you about what your traditions are.
Mm-hmm.
What do you eat on Christmas Eve? Is there a special thing? Christmas Day? Maybe there's a movie. Maybe there's, I don't know. We want to know what your Christmas traditions are.
Yeah.
But first, Luke, we wanted to talk to you about the Packers smoking the Saints last night, 34-0. Wow.
Yeah, it was a heck of a game. The fact that that would not be the case of right on the tail, the Saints being the Packers. Unlike the very, very close contest that the two of you had between the Matenaer On Air and the Todd Alba Show, this was a blowout from start to finish.
Well, and I know that the Saints were missing a couple of their key players, right?
Quite a few of their key
players.
players.
They were going in with a deficit to start with.
Yeah, they had a backup quarterback who was rookie, drafted in the 5th round. Their all-star running back, Alvin Kamara, out as well. A number of their wide receiver options. So they were a depleted force for sure, but the Packers took care of business regardless.
That poor rookie quarterback. I mean, come on. Ow.
Yeah. Definitely throw it into the deep end on that one. Like, not the case that having a good go of it. I believe only his 3rd or 4th start as well.
And his name is Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
I think he got a little rattled.
And that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Boom.
Rattler got rattled.
Yeah, Rattler got rattled. That's gonna chase him, I think, unfortunately. The offense scored on 5 of Jordan Love's 7 drives, and the defense blanked an opponent for the first time since 2021.
And the first NFL shutout of the season. There had yet to be an NFL team that scored 0 points so far this season. The Saints, unfortunate for them to be the first ones to do that.
I just figured it would have been the Jets that would have scored no points at some point during this season. But what am I to say? Who am I to judge? I got second place in a vote contest. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing.
He just wants to mention again what the Jets' record is because this brings him great joy.
4-11. Boom.
Yeah, Devontae Adams though still helping me win in fantasy because he got a touchdown this weekend, so I'm happy with that. I just want success for Devontae Adams. He and he alone.
I want nothing but pain and loserdom for them. I want them to lose so bad that they all just hand Aaron Rodgers a packed bag, and the Jets thing is covered with a sticker, and they're just like goodbye.
You can go. You can go.
That might happen.
Can do better.
That might happen. Yeah.
Well, and I actually saw a quote from him saying that he might be willing to work with a rookie quarterback and act as his mentor, which I don't buy that for 1 second.
He was
Since when
very
does-
against, yeah, he was very against that when Jordan Love came to Green Bay. So it'll be interesting to see if that's truly the case or if he's kind of just saying that because he knows he's going to be more on the hot seat, either whether he returns to New York next year or another team is silly enough to pick him up.
Yeah. Do you really think he could get picked up by somebody else?
We've seen a lot of veteran quarterbacks go like a long time, probably past when they should, because they want to keep playing. They saw Tom Brady do this really, really tremendous thing. Like nobody was able to play as long as Tom Brady did. And I think since it's so recent in a lot of these other older quarterbacks' minds, they're like, I could do that too.
Yeah.
He did it. I could do it. And I don't know, maybe the ayahuasca is speaking or something, and he thinks that he can go one more season. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the darkness, if it's the ayahuasca, or what it might be. But I have
go on. I'm sorry.
There might be some kind of higher power that will tell Aaron Rodgers what his next step is. That's all.
I was going to say he's just immunized for victory. That's what he is. He's immunized for victory.
Nice.
And he has that kind of chutzpah and that kind of hubris that he probably thinks I can do this. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's a team out there who will pay. I mean, his price tag will go down.
He even said, he said he would take a cut and pay.
Yeah.
'Cause
Again,
he's
all things he has to say now because he went to New York and there were talks of Super Bowl chasing, ring chasing, and New York did better last year while he was injured than they're doing this year with him starting. And so it's one of those things where he's got to change his tune because it looks all signs are pointing to the Packers front office making the right decision when it came to what they did with the Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers saga, because a lot of people were mad right away saying, what are you doing? Why are we we need to win now? We shouldn't draft a quarterback in the first round. We should be giving Rodgers weapons. And he was on back-to-back MVP seasons for a second there, but there's only so much you can do before Father Time kicks in. And Packers front office saw talent in Jordan Love. He's clearly put it on display the last season and this season. And it's going to be interesting to see how far the Packers can go now that they've clinched another playoff spot.
If you're just joining us, Luke Mathers, our friend and colleague, is here. We're talking about the Packers smoking of the New Orleans Saints last night, 34-0.
I know I'm going to ask everyone to embrace a hypothetical here, but you say Father Time, but what if there's another world where Aaron Rodgers isn't worried about vaccination hoaxes and being on Pat McAfee and being the guy who shows up to training camp to work with the new ones? Who is Aaron Rodgers if we see him in a version that he should be like embracing his age, embracing new talent, embracing and understanding that he has a limited amount of time? Yes, Father Time is always chasing you. But I really feel like it's his overall attitude in the past 5 years that's really been his downfall.
Absolutely.
It's really affected who he is as a person because we don't talk about Aaron Rodgers as far as his playing ability that much anymore. Or if you do, you then have to talk about his super poor attitude. The fact that he cleared the decks of the major front office of the Jets and wondering if the Jets regret that decision at all, and more sense regret hitting him. Like, it's not, I don't think it's a lack of talent. I still think he has talent. It's just he's not a great person to work with, and he's just ugh.
Yeah, and that I think if you look at it the other way too, it just shows how much talent will allow you to put up with some of those other things. Yeah. Because I think that I think Aaron Rodgers is who Aaron Rodgers has always been. But when it's the MVP quarterback, people let things slide and they put up with things that maybe you wouldn't for somebody else. And now I think some of those chickens are coming home to roost because he doesn't necessarily have the MVP skills anymore. He's still got a heck of a football IQ. Like the man still knows football. But I think his inability to kind of put that ego aside, like there's a handful of freak plays that throughout his career as a Green Bay Packer and his injury in the first like 4 or 5 snaps as a New York Jet, like things could have gone drastically different. He could have 3 or 4 Super Bowls if it weren't for like a Brandon Bostic fumble on that onside kick that all of a sudden Seattle went back to the Super Bowl instead of the Packers. If it wasn't for just a fluke field goal that the 49ers had against the Packers in the playoffs that took away victory from us there too. Like there are multiple Super Bowl appearances in this alternate universe that you're talking about, Greg. And I don't know if it necessarily would have changed his attitude or his outcome. But it is definitely one of those things where I think his skill on the football fields just glossed over a lot of the problems that he's had. And now it is a different world for him where he's got to start changing his tune, saying, hey, I'll take a pay cut. Hey, I'll work with the rookies. I'll do these things that he previously kind of put his nose up to and just said, nah, I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna take care of what I'm gonna take care of. And it's not working anymore for him.
I think it'd be more comforting if I knew that he actually did want to work with him. And the way he's approaching it now is more of, I guess I'll do it.
It's this kind of grudging, if I have to. Yeah, exactly. Well, and going back to what you said about when people everybody was freaking out when they went with Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers. That happened with Brett Favre too. I remember that so clearly. Oh my gosh, we're getting rid of Brett Favre. The sky is falling and the world is ending. And and all I remember hearing about was Aaron Rodgers' history of injuries when he was playing college ball.
Mm-hmm.
And so it, I don't know. I mean, it turned out okay for a while.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that Aaron Rodgers, from that injury, that first few years, especially that leads us through the Super Bowl, he is, and I'm gonna say clean cut, but he's a good-looking guy. He's smiling. He's having fun with his teammates. He's the State Farm guy. He does other commercials.
Discount double check.
Exactly. Like he's got the thing that he does on the field. He presented this image of just like fun guy, and just here we go. And then I remember seeing an interview on 60 Minutes with his teammates where they said they made fun of him, like they cracked some jokes about him.
Yeah.
And he saw that interview and he got really mad at them.
Yeah.
So like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, so this guy doesn't have a sense of humor about himself. He puts up a facade, but he's really
he's really not that jovial, fun to be around kind of guy. Yeah.
And talk about a sense of humor. You got Jordan Love now embracing the joke. Have you guys seen the memes about the Toyota-thon?
No.
Oh, one of the greatest things so all the Packers social media accounts are kind of joking for the stat breakdown that Jordan Love has. Like Matt LaFleur, as a Packers head coach, is excellent in December, but last year and this year, Jordan Love is doing really, really well when it comes to late November throughout December football. And so now the joke is that he is pretty much the MVP during Toyota-thon. And so like there's all these memes that are going on that it's like one of the most unstoppable forces in the NFL is Jordan Love during Toyota-thon. And he posted a picture of him in a Toyota-thon Christmas sweater this week. And so it is very comical, and like Jordan Love is just leaning in and just going with the joke, and it's really fun to see this young, exciting, fun team go out and take care of business. And I'm really hoping that they can get some revenge against the Vikings this upcoming weekend, and then finish strong against the Bears in the final week of the season.
By the way, speaking of Sunday's game, they flexed it to 3:25. So the Packers game now against the Vikings will be at 3:25 on Sunday. Luke Mathers is with us. Stay close. You are listening to Matenaer On Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. Good morning. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Calviente on the board, coming to you from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. We have a message from Lynn in Oconomowoc. A very Merry Christmas and other holiday wishes to you all. Same back at you, Lynn. Hope you and yours have a lovely, lovely Christmas. Luke Mathers is here, our friend and colleague, and we're doing lighter things today because it is Christmas Eve. We'll be back on Monday to go delve deeply into dark things. But today we're going to do it a little bit differently. Next hour, we would love to hear about your Christmas family traditions, what it is that you do around the holidays that just makes it the holidays. After the 11:30 news, we're going to do our cookie exchange, which has a slight wrinkle in it. We'll explain what happened, after the 11:30 news. And then there's the ranking of the holiday treats. So we'd love you to take part in that as well. Don't forget to special nightlight tonight from Pete Schwaba from 4 to 6 p.m. across the network. And then at 6 o'clock tonight, we are switching to all Christmas music, and that will go through tomorrow. So keep us with you in the background while you're opening your presents and drinking your nog and whatever it is that you're doing. Starting tonight at 6 o'clock, all Christmas music through Christmas Day. Luke Mathers is here. And I wanted to ask you, Luke, about some of the Mathers family traditions on the holidays. So what's going to happen tonight for Christmas Eve?
So tonight for Christmas Eve, we're in a little bit of a new rebirth phase of the Christmas traditions. Christmas Eve was always a holiday spent with my mom's extended family at my grandma's, but she passed away a few years ago now. So it's been kind of a little bit of an experiment trying to see what works. I've got pretty much all of my siblings were all grown and out of the house. And the last thing my parents want to do is host every single year. So we've been kind of doing, it's not necessarily. And so we do a little bit of a round robin. So we take turns hosting Christmas Eve now. But this year, we last weekend went down to Lake Geneva and got like a little villa together and spent some time down there.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. That was great.
That's a great idea.
My sister is taking the kids down to Florida this year today. They're like jumping on a plane now. So we wanted to spend some time together as the full Mathers family. We got a chance to do that last weekend. And now we're going to be hosting my parents tonight for some dinner. Kelsey and I are going to be braising some short ribs, so getting the Christmas tradition kind of through great food and just still spending time together. So my little brother will be joining us. And really, one of our favorite Christmas traditions that we've established, Kelsey and I, as a relatively newlywed couple and new homeowners, is we like to go and cut down our Christmas tree. So
you do?
Yeah. Every year on Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, we go up to a tree farm not too far from here in Dane County, north side of Dane County. I think we're technically in. I forget what county is, but wherever Rio, Wisconsin, whatever county it falls in, we go to a nice little Christmas tree farm there. We take the dogs with us. We pick out a tree.
That.
Yeah. Well, this was the first year for Aurora, so it was a little hectic.
She a little frantic?
Not frantic because of the tree, but frantic because people kind of are just roaming wherever through all of the trees. And so she didn't necessarily always see the people come in. And when all of a sudden another family just appeared through the tree farm, she was losing her mind a little bit barking. But overall, very positive experience. Remy always loves it. We pick out our tree, we cut it down, we bring it home, and we like to that weekend after Thanksgiving get the chance to put up the tree, decorate the tree, and really that's been our strongest Mathers Christmas tradition to date so far. But we always like spending time with family. We were just in the Quad Cities seeing some of Kelsey's extended family. We'll get a chance to do a lot of family tomorrow as well, and later today. But that's the most important thing, is getting time to spend with loved ones, and just whether it's it's good food, if it's some great cookies, some card games are always involved with the Mathers. So it can be cribbage, sheep's head, euchre was played. A lot of good card games.
It's a very
involved.
Wisconsin Christmas.
That very much so. Yeah. So
Always.
you're a sheep's head family.
Oh yes. My mom's side of the family for sure, but my dad's side too. We all like to play. We even if we don't have 5, we will suck it up and play 3 or 4 handed as well. So it's a little bit tougher, but 5 is the perfect number when it comes to sheep's head.
Yeah,
That's a game I was never able to master.
I'm not going to go out there and brag that I've mastered it, Jane. It's one of those things where it takes an evening to learn, maybe 2 evenings to learn, and then a lifetime to master.
Calvin, do you play sheep's head?
No, I play euchre. Though.
Oh, you play euchre.
I'm a
There we
cribbage
go.
guy. I like cribbage the best.
Cribbage, I can cribbage.
Yeah.
But
Cribbage is great. I taught a new Kelsey's uncle had never learned, but he brought a board and he wanted to learn this weekend. So we got a chance to teach a cribbage newbie as well.
Nice.
So
I bet you'd be a really good teacher.
I don't know about really good, but I try. I try to do what I can.
A bit better than my former father-in-law, who turned me off of pinochle within like the first 20 minutes because he wouldn't stop yelling at me.
My dad's strategy is the best way to learn is to let the person beat you so the newbie wins and then they want to keep playing because they won.
That's
what we did this
strategy.
weekend.
Merry Christmas, Luke Mathers, to you
Merry
and Kelsey
Christmas.
and the entire
Merry
Mathers
Christmas.
family. Thank you so much for joining us. News is coming up next. Stay with us. You're listening to Matenaer On Air on the vast Civic Media Radio Network.
We're here tonight. Oh, that's enough. We're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Wonderful Christmas time.
Good morning and welcome to Matenaer On Air. Merry Christmas Eve. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Calvin Butenhoff coming to you live from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Real quickly, we want to congratulate our grand prize winners from the statewide Text to Win Grown-Up Gift List Contest. Chris picked up a snowblower. Evelyn, listening in Madison on WMDX, a robot vacuum. Angie, an espresso machine. Michelle, listening on WFHR, picked up that humidifier. Rosemary, that robot vacuum. We have been promised cat pictures riding on the robot vacuum from Rosemary. And listening here on WAUK, picked up an espresso machine. And Dan, WLCX in La Crosse, with a set of luggage. Still one winner that we're trying to contact.
That phone number is 262.
Oh, no, the snowblower is already gone.
Darn it!
Chris got the snowblower. Sorry about that. But if you have not yet downloaded the Civic Media app, you should do so. It's absolutely free, and we will be playing this statewide Text to Win contest again, I am sure.
Yeah.
So download the Civic Media app. It's really useful. It's very handy. You'll like it.
And it's free.
It's absolutely free, as Greg Bach would say. Coming up after the bottom of the hour news, we're going to have our cookie exchange with a slight wrinkle, and then talk about the rankings of favorite Christmas treats.
Yeah.
Right now, though, we would love to know what your family Christmas traditions are.
Yes.
What you do on Christmas Eve, what you do on Christmas Day. 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Alicia on the live stream. A Merry Christmas and wonderful, joyful holidays. A Christmas tradition we have is I get my kids each an ornament for the tree over Thanksgiving weekend. And Christmas morning, we always start with Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
Wow.
Ooh, yummy.
Nice.
Yum. That sounds good.
Ooh, now I'm getting hungry.
So, Greg, what will you do tonight for Christmas Eve?
So for Christmas, it's actually, the tradition's a little bit different now. We used to, every year we would go to my sister's house on Christmas Eve night, hang out, eat pizza, and then we'd all go to bed, and then we'd wake up in the morning and we'd do presents in the morning. And then we'd have a Christmas breakfast, just very simple, very,
bacon and eggs or
something
like that.
My sister makes this really good egg bake that's really tasty. And then we get, like, Bridget and I get our shoes and socks on, get our jackets on, get cargo, ring right to Racine to visit her mom. And then we spend the rest of the day there. Then we have Christmas dinner. And usually my mom shows up. My mother-in-law's house, it's an open door policy, basically. Once presents are done,
everybody's welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
That's
come on
nice.
in, hang out for as little or as long as you'd like. But just come and if you have nowhere to go, come hang out with us. We'll be your family for the night.
Oh, that's lovely.
And so this year it's changed a little. We're not going to be staying at my sister's house tonight. We're going to be going there, but then we're going to come home tonight because it's just gotten to the point for me personally that, like, I would have to sleep on the couch.
Oh, and then you don't get a good night's sleep.
I fall asleep around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then we wake up at 7.
No.
And then I have to go run.
And then you're crabby all Christmas Day.
I am super crabby on Christmas Day. So this year we're going to do it. We're going to go down there this evening, like early evening, and we're going to eat pizza, open some presents. I don't want to totally upend their tradition of the morning because I love Christmas morning.
Yeah.
I don't like opening presents on Christmas Eve, but my sister's being super, super accommodating. And I was ready to say, take your presents and you can open them up tomorrow. I don't have to see it. I don't want it to, like, get in your way. Like, very Wisconsin.
Very, very Wisconsin.
So we're going to open up some presents tonight. I'm going to have them open up the rest of the presents tomorrow. And then we're probably going to be looking at new traditions for next year because this was all started when my niece was newborn. She was born, she's a December baby, but she was born on the 30th. But my sister wanted her to always have Christmas at their house because she wanted her to memories of their house.
I understand.
Which is
that.
important.
Yep.
I think it's great. My niece is 23 years old.
Oh, my.
My nephew is going to be 20 next year. They
Things
have plenty of those
changed.
memories. So so that's actually really exciting now, exploring what the new traditions could be. We've even talked about going next year to California for Christmas for a couple of days. Maybe not Los Angeles, but something. But the options are open. I'm very, very excited. What about you, Jane?
Um, I was texting with some of my sisters about this last night because obviously things are very different now that we're adults and we're
Yeah.
all in our 60s and 70s. But when we were growing up, and there were 6 of us, remember, and we lived above a funeral home.
Yes.
And so on Christmas Eve, my older sisters and brother would get the littlest of us, and I was the
Yeah.
youngest, and we would practice a Christmas play while my parents were upstairs making food and wrapping presents.
For a funeral home family, the stories you tell are quite theatrical.
we were all pretty
Just a
expressive
bunch
kids.
of Tennessee Williamses living in the
Pretty
house.
expressive kids. But so we would go practice in the chapels because there was all kinds of room down there.
And wonderful acoustics.
And we had a speaker system so you could have music.
yeah.
And so after mom and dad were done wrapping the presents
Yeah.
and getting the food ready, they would come downstairs and we would perform our Christmas play for them,
Yeah.
which we did for years.
Was it different Christmas plays? Or
It was
the
a
same?
different Christmas play every year. That was on my 2 older sisters. They organized the whole thing.
They write it?
They adapted 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and all through the pad, not a creature was sleeping, not even cool dad. I can remember that. I remember. I know. I didn't say it was award winning, but
No. I'm both impressed. And I mean, we're talking about if you're 60s and 70s, that means this was like in the 60s. So like, cool dad. What's up, Papa? Like,
Exactly.
It's of the hip
he's
language.
a cool dad. So after the Christmas play, we would go upstairs, and we used to pick names among the siblings,
Yeah.
and so we would exchange those presents.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got a present from a godmother or someone like that,
Mhm.
we exchanged them on Christmas Eve, and then we would eat.
Yeah.
And it had to be certain things though.
Okay.
It was cheese and sausage, which is so unusual.
like just little appetizers.
Yeah, little.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah.
tons and tons of it.
Yeah, of course.
And then shrimp.
My mother-in-law.
We always had shrimp.
Shrimp and cocktail sauce.
Yep. And my father would have creamed herring. Ew. And then
Folks listening, I'm sorry for what you just had to hear right there. That's 2 things I despise: herring and anything
creamed. And then we would mom would make punch.
Were there 2
Usually-
punches?
There were probably 2 punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the frozen, the concentrate
Oh, yeah.
juice,
Yep.
and probably lots and lots of 7-Up.
Yeah.
So get us all good and wired to go to midnight mass.
Oh, you did.
We did midnight mass, and then we would come home, go to bed, and then Christmas Day is when we did presents from Santa.
Yeah. See, that's what my sister's going to do tomorrow. Is that presents from Santa? Even though the kids are grown, they know that's. I mean, they know that Santa's working right now. But they still get their presents from Santa. And what I always loved that my sister did is that I think a lot of parents would do this tradition of, if you ask for a bike, if you were a little kid and you asked for a bike, this is the bike from Santa. That's never how they did it. Santa only gives them small presents.
Oh,
Presents they need in their everyday life. Maybe some lip gloss, maybe a new pair of gloves, maybe something small but usable and very, very it's the big presents that come from mom and dad. So if it was a
that's
new
really
phone
interesting.
or a brand new whatever that they
roller skates, a skateboard.
exactly, that came from mom and dad. The new shirts they need come from Santa because he's there to help you with what you need.
He gives you the practical stuff. Santa brings socks.
I always loved that. I thought that was really cool because I mean, it's like, thanks Santa. It's like, I got you the bike.
That's real. That's really interesting.
I think it's a smart way to do it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
855-752-4842. What are your Christmas Eve, Christmas Day traditions? What's the food you have to have? What's the one dish that everyone has to have? What are your traditions? 855-752-4842. Calvin, what happens at the Butenhof Castle?
Yes. So growing up, we always did Christmas Eve night. We would go to my mom's side of the family, and then we would wake up Christmas Day. And usually, I guess at my mom's side of the family, we'd just do like appetizer stuff, like I guess like shrimp cocktail, cheese and sausage, tacos, just like easy stuff. Everyone brings something,
Right.
and then go home, go to bed, wake up, do Santa quick in the morning, and then we would go to my dad's side and have brunch, and then come home and play with our
Play with the toys and take naps.
That's an efficient use of, and when you think about that too, like I never realized that until after I got married and I got included into Bridget's family, is that everything's done in 24 hours. You're going to Christmas Eve at my sister's house by 4 o'clock. Dinner is served by my mother-in-law's house the next day by 4 or 5 o'clock. And by dinner, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
And all of that work, all of those things happen.
And
in
all the anticipation, right?
And then, do either of you, I'm sure both of you are going to say no, but do either of you get a little bit of the sads on Christmas night or Christmas to the 26th? Like,
I get that. Well, there's so much buildup and there's so much anticipation that, and it's over so quickly, as you said, it's a little bit of a letdown.
I mean, I love the fact that like we make the presents last so long because there's so many of us, but
Everybody watches the one person open.
we did that one year. It took 4.5 hours
My
because there were
gosh.
8 of us.
Oh my goodness.
So this year what we do is everyone gets a present. We open at the same time. Ta-da! We present a little bit and then you go move on because we can't because we're like we ate at 8 o'clock one night.
my goodness, that's way too late. Andrew from Maine wants to know if my parents hid presents in the coffins. No, they did not do that, Andrew. That's really funny. But I remember very vividly looking for my presents one year, and I found them, and it ruined Christmas.
I found my presents once as well,
It ruined
and I was
it.
really upset. Because I never looked. I found these accidentally.
did?
Oh yeah, I never looked for presents.
Yeah,
I didn't want to.
The first time and last time
Yeah.
I ever did that, and you know what I was so excited about getting? The game Feely Mealy. Let me know if anybody remembers that game. Feely Mealy, 855-752-4842. You're listening to Matenaer On Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and the Calvinator on the board, coming to you from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text. It's the same number, 855-752-4842. You can leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Merry Christmas Eve. We're doing a lighter dose of the show today.
Yeah, we're having fun.
We're having some fun. We have our cookie exchange coming up after 11:33, and then we're going to look at the America's most popular Christmas treats. I think there's some debate involved with that,
Absolutely.
especially with what's coming in number one. But right before we went to the break, and we're going to wrap it up today with a "This Shouldn't Be a Thing."
Yeah.
It's the Do you know why I pulled you over edition, holiday edition.
Yeah.
Of This Shouldn't Be a Thing, coming up around 11:51. Right before we went to the break, we were talking about looking for Christmas presents, and I found mine one year, and I never did it again.
Yep.
But the toy I really, really wanted was called Feely Mealy. And someone from Madison actually texted in a link that it's like, yep, that's the game. It was a really silly game.
Yeah.
So it's a box, and you can have 4 people stick their hand in the box.
Yeah.
And there's plastic figurines in there. And if I remember correctly, all you had to do was identify what the thing was. It's a spider. It's a horse. It's a dog. That's what I remember. But yeah, so I found that game, and I never looked at my presents again because it ruined it.
I found it on eBay for $55 if you want it.
$55?
Yeah, $55.
What
yeah.
kind of ranking does it get?
Let's see here. There's a complexity ranking out of 5. This gets a 1.
That sounds accurate.
And I think really, I think that would take Feely Mealy to the next level. Would if you added a moisture
Ew.
aspect to it, like whether it's like a water or a slime or something. Then it's like eyeball or something like that. You know, like tiny horse. Everyone knows what a tiny horse.
2025 version of Feely Mealy. Greg Bach. I like it.
Yep.
Calvin, you said you found some interesting trivia about this?
Yeah, so I Googled Feely Mealy just to see what it was all about. And one of the articles that came up, and I've actually seen this movie, in the Conjuring franchise of horror films, there's a movie called Annabelle Comes Home, and it features the Warren family's Museum of Evil that they have in their house. And one of the Easter egg things in the background of the museum is a haunted Feely Mealy.
A haunted Feely Mealy.
You're gonna lose a finger to the
Oh
devil.
man, that is hilarious.
That's
hilarious. 855-752-4842. Charles from Milwaukee, thank you for your patience, Charles, and thank you for joining us. What did you want to say?
Well, I have a story also. I was about 8, and I still believed in Santa Claus at that time. And but I'd been used to helping my dad around the house and stuff. And up in my shared bedroom with my brother was this little crawl space and had this little door on it. And for some reason, I got the idea to unscrew the door hinges, and I popped the door off. And I think my brother and I looked in, and there were 2 sleds. So I realized then no more Santa. But we did find out what our gifts were. But I don't think our parents ever did find out. But yeah.
That's what did it. That's you found. They never guessed that you found him.
I don't think they did. No.
well. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's the thing is like.
Appreciate it, Charles. Have a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
I didn't go look. It was in the basement underneath the stairs, and I was looking for a laundry basket, and the laundry baskets were right there next to the stairs. And when I pulled the laundry basket, I saw a labyrinth set. I'm like, what is this? And I pulled them and I realized that they were and I pushed them right back. I never went because I personally love to be surprised on Christmas morning. I don't want to find the present. I never wanted to find the presents.
Again, I did it that one year, and I regretted it, and it was so awkward trying to pretend to be not
Yay,
especially
Feely Mealy.
I know, right, Calvin?
Yeah, I don't go. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise either. That I was going to say something else, and I lost my mind.
No worries. It's Christmas Eve. We're just in the spirit.
Yeah,
we're just in the spirit. Oh, by the way, that was a special bumper music from a group called Latte con Salsa. Latkes con salsa.
Like latkes?
Latkes.
Latkes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, latkes con salsa. And because tomorrow is also Hanukkah.
Yes, indeed.
So it's been called Chrismica for a while.
Merry, happy Christmaka.
Happy Chrismica. The celebration of both Jewish and Christian festivities, popularly known as Chrismica. In 2024, Hanukkah begins at sundown on Christmas Day, which is actually pretty rare.
It doesn't happen often, no. But this is great. And I have some Jewish friends. I said, what do you like? They're going to light the menorah. They're going to hand out presents. They're going to do the whole thing.
They're going to combine them.
Yep.
I think a lot of households who might be interfaith do that. They celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah. But I found that song with a little. It's weird to hear a dreidel song with a little island vibe,
Oh, yeah.
a little salsa vibe to it.
Salsa sounds good right
Salsa sounds good. All right, we're going to talk Christmas cookies and our Christmas cookie exchange, and then we're going to go through the ranking of America's favorite Christmas desserts. You can text it in if you already have one and you know which one you love the most. 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream. By the way, Santa is in the air. NORAD is tracking him. He is approaching Chelyabinsk, Russia in about 2 minutes. He was just in Kazakhstan.
now. Okay, there we go.
So NORAD is tracking him. If you have some little ones at home and you want to do this, go to noradsanta.org and stay close. News is coming up next. You're listening to Matenaer On Air on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Yo tengo regalito para Hanukkah. Yo tengo regalito para Hanukkah. Yo tengo regalito para Hanukkah. sure do like those Christmas cookies, sugar.
Good morning. Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Dr. Slide on the board, coming to you from our home here at Radio Ranch in Racine. You can always join us. Radio Park. It could be a ranch. That was kind of a Texas kind of twang thing.
It totally was, but now I'm calling it Radio Ranch from now on. That's just all there
Welcome
is
to
to it.
Radio Ranch. Here in Racine,
my
where you can
goodness. That's
always
funny.
join us at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform that Putz de Leon continues to actively ruin.
Partner.
Radio Ranch, yeehaw. Before we went to the break, we were talking about searching for Christmas presents and finding them early.
Yeah.
And I found this Feely Mealy game that I really wanted. This is from the 1960s. Pam, listening in Wisconsin Rapids, says, I remember getting a Mattel Maker Fun Flowers gift around 1966. You poured this liquid into tiny molds, heated it up, and then you had these colorful flowers to attach to whatever. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Pam. Merry Christmas to you and yours. My brothers had something like that.
Describe that again.
You poured liquid into tiny molds, heated it up, and then it came out with these beautiful plastic flowers.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of what the crystals, when you put the crystals into the mold.
No, this was that. If I'm remembering correctly, because my brothers had something like that. That thing heated up because they would make little cars, like little Matchbox cars. That thing heated up to like 900 degrees. They let us play with stuff that could kill you all the time.
And painted with this lead-based paint.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to ask my brother what that thing was, but that was a dangerous toy.
Oh God.
Tom from LA is on the line. Good morning, Tom. Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas Eve. How you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Jane. First, if I sound out of breath, it's because I'm working out while I'm doing this.
Oh,
But when I was young, I wanted the 2XL talking robot. And I don't know if anyone knows that one or not, but it was a 2XL talking robot. My sister and I went snooping, and I found it. But then for some reason, I was told I wasn't getting it. So then my parents put it under the tree, and I actually ripped all the wrapping paper basically off and saw that that still was
the gift.
the gift that I was wanting. So even though, 'cause I think they found out, if I remember correctly, they found out that I found it down in the basement, and they said, well, you're not going to get it now.
Yeah.
That fair enough, right? But then they came through. For you in the end, Tom.
Exactly. But I ripped open that present little by little until I could see what the name of it was. And it said 2XL talking robot. And I still to this day have that thing. And I love that item. That's one of my favorite
Nice.
gifts
Oh,
ever.
that's great. I wish I still had some. I wish I had that Feely Mealy game. I could get $55 for it on eBay.
It's still on eBay, Jane, for $55. They haven't gotten it yet.
You can. Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Merry Christmas to you and yours. All right, let's talk treat rankings. America's favorite Christmas desserts. This is in Newsweek magazine. I take issue with what's coming in at number one with 40%. Pumpkin pie.
Wait, what holiday? Is that Christmas?
America's favorite Christmas desserts, according to this article in Newsweek magazine. Pumpkin pie chosen by 40% of Americans. I don't buy it.
I think that's just because people no.
Dana from La Crosse texting in, I miss my late grandma's Sandbachel, if I'm saying that correctly, and rosette cookies, the best ever.
That's nice.
She would probably use the spritzer
Yeah.
to make the cookies. I tried that once, never again.
Yeah, pumpkin pie is fine. I'll eat pumpkin pie, but it is not my number one favorite dessert. It's not my number one favorite holiday
Not
dessert.
by a long shot.
It's no.
Apple pie at number 2
Interesting.
with 27%.
Doesn't feel like a holiday pie to me.
It does not at all.
No.
Pecan pie at 25%.
Also not a holiday pie.
Well, see that I would yes.
See, to me, like a holiday dessert is like cookies, Christmas cookies, or a Christmas pie of some sort, but not something you can buy. To me, a holiday dessert is something you make or buy specifically at that time. I can buy a pumpkin pie any day of the year.
So what would be a Christmas pie then,
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm racking my brains.
Calvin?
Well, if the list is exclusively pies, I think it just kind of turns into a list of favorite pies.
This list brought to you.
No, there's more stuff than this. Is America's favorite Christmas desserts. So
I don't know.
we got pumpkin pie, apple pie, pecan pie, then cake
Cake?
at 22%.
Just cake.
It just says cake.
The food or the band? What? I'm sorry.
Sugar cookies, 21%.
Like peppermint bark. I know it's not everyone's jam, but that's like something specific you make.
I can go with that.
Excuse me. For Christmas. It looks Christmassy, but apple pie just what?
Chocolate chip cookies, 18%. America's favorite Christmas desserts.
God, we are boring.
Brownies at 16%.
Maybe with a
You could do green and red sprinkles on it.
exactly with a minty whipped cream or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm this is disappointing to me. This is solely
Oh, my
disappointing to me.
goodness. I did not mean to disappoint you. Today of all days.
I'm not upset, people. I'm just disappointed.
America's favorite Christmas desserts, according to Newsweek magazine, hot chocolate. Is that a dessert?
No, get out of my country.
Gingerbread cookies, 11%.
There you- see, that's just candy canes. I know it's not. It's candy, but still, like, it's more. It's
Specific to the holidays.
yes.
Cherry pie, 10%.
Oh,
Cinnamon rolls, 10%.
this is.
Cinnamon rolls, though, for Christmas morning.
I agree.
I can go along with
I'm
that.
really upset that cinnamon rolls didn't rank higher. I feel like they would have gone the first or second round.
Well, the next one's going to make you lose your mind.
Ugh, what?
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes,
Just
8%.
cupcakes. People, what are we doing right now?
Is this America? Fruitcake at 7%.
I'm surprised it ranked that high.
It beat out the Yule logs and Swiss rolls at 4%.
What's a Yule log? Like, I know a Yule log is.
Something. Well, let's look it up.
Welcome to Jane and Greg Go to Google today.
855-752-4842. If you would like to weigh in on the best Christmas desserts,
Yeah.
we are taking issue with some of these that Newsweek has
It's
listed.
a difficult one to do because I bet you there's a lot of people out there who like, oh, what's your favorite? Oh, it's a dessert my grandma used to make. You know, it's a dessert.
Sparkle. Whatever.
Holiday sparkles.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so they can't rank because they're not going to make it. But yet we get pie, cake, and cupcakes. Like, cool deal.
Alicia says apple pie strikes me as a 4th of July kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, apple pie, cherry pie, blueberry pie,
Pie is not, I do not think of.
Christmas pie.
I understand why people say pumpkin pie at Christmas because we do it at Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. There's similar meals attached. But people, come on, man. We're supposed to be America.
Tom, texting in Newsweek is a horrible source.
Well, yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is that it's Newsweek.
Oh, that's funny. Lefse, a Norwegian Christmas tradition. Lefse is great.
Yeah.
Lutefisk, not so much.
No. Creamed herring. No.
Not so much. America's most popular Christmas desserts, according to Newsweek magazine. We take issue with some of these.
I take issue with the fact that more people aren't calling in, texting, and see, there we go. With just anger.
Frustration
This is
with Newsweek.
a
This is just wrong.
This is a travesty. A pure travesty.
Alicia on the live stream. Now we know that Newsweek is fake news
Yep. This is bunk.
because of this. America's favorite Christmas desserts, putting pumpkin pie at number 1, apple pie number 2, pecan pie at number 3, cake, followed by sugar cookies,
What's your favorite thing to do at the holidays? Fun. Ugh.
chocolate chip cookies, brownies, hot chocolate, gingerbread cookies, cherry pie, cinnamon rolls, cupcakes, fruitcake, and Yule logs or Swiss rolls.
I would consider hot cocoa to be a dessert if you threw some whipped cream on there.
Lots of whipped cream.
with like an edible like candy straw.
Okay.
You know that like it's something you build. It once again, it's something you do at the holidays. I can have hot cocoa
Anytime.
in March,
Exactly.
but I'm not going to make Grandpapa's hot cocoa dessert mix. Like put some thought into it. Newsweek, you're on my list.
Try harder next year.
Yeah.
Try a little harder. 855-752-4842 if you would like to join our very serious conversation. Rick from Waukesha is on the line. Good morning, Rick. Thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas Eve.
You too. I think maybe people might be afraid to call this in like me, but sham torts.
Sham torts.
Sham torts as a dessert, like with strawberries.
Yes.
How do you spell that? Sham?
It's S-C-H. Right, Rick? Sham, S-C.
It's a German.
Yep.
No, I'm the worst speller, but it's a German kind of a dessert.
Sham tort. My mother used to make it. I haven't thought about that in years, Rick.
Oh,
there
my
it
mother
is.
would make really big ones. You know, it was like 2 pieces of pie size.
Wow.
You know, with a half a bowl of strawberries on top.
That sounds
Those look
delicious.
amazing.
Yeah, they were really good. Well, Rick, I haven't thought. Thank you for bringing back that memory. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Thank you so much, Rick, for calling, and Merry Christmas to you and yours. Alice and Cudahy texting in. They did not do the survey in Wisconsin. I think you're
I
right
don't think
about
they did
that.
the survey in America.
Carol in Waukesha, candy cane pie. Ooh.
Yeah.
Chocolate peppermint pudding with whipped cream and crushed candy cane on top. Eggnog muffins and Stollen.
Stolen.
Cinnamon hard candy from Nicole in Madison. The kids love making this and giving it as gifts. Texter in Waukesha says mincemeat pie.
That's not a dessert.
It is according to this texter. Pam in Rapids, grasshopper pie with creamed mint liquor filling and Oreo crust. Ooh, my
What?
sister's specialty.
Okay. I mean, I'll buy it if it's a holiday thing. but-
Grasshopper pie.
yeah.
Liking that.
But if you're making it every gathering, then it's a holiday pie.
85. Boy, you have so many rules.
I do.
855-752-4842. Ricky from Nina is on the line. Good morning, Ricky, and Merry Christmas Eve.
Hello.
Hello, Ricky. Are you there?
Yeah, okay, I got a beep, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to weigh in on that. Pecan pie, you know, I can let that one go because you don't see that very often. You know, you can't associate it really with any other holiday. Pumpkin pie, I think, is strictly reserved for, you know, Thanksgiving
Yep.
and around Halloween and stuff like that. But I just don't get the hate on fruitcake because you can make a fruitcake that does taste good.
Really?
Only eating it once a year. Yeah, you just skip the dried apricots. That's what really kills it.
It's like the problem with those cakes is that they lose moisture
And
they
get
just
really
They just
dry.
become paperweights.
Well, it's good to know, Ricky, that a good fruit cake can be made.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll give it a shot next year. And skip the apricots is your recommendation.
Yeah, and then I wanted to throw in there mincemeat pie. I always like a mincemeat pie at.
But for a dessert,
yeah, for a dessert because you know, technically you could eat it as a meal because it's its own nutritious deal there. But you know, yeah, as a dessert, sure, you throw enough whipped cream on top of anything and it's a dessert.
I appreciate it, Ricky. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Andrew in Maine, my mom made double layer fudge each December. Ooh, peanut butter over chocolate. Fudge was absolutely a Christmas thing.
I haven't had
In our
a piece
house.
of fudge in a long time.
It was, yep, absolutely had to have fudge. All right, we have one more break to go. This shouldn't be a thing. You know why I pulled you over edition? And the cookie exchange coming up. This is Matenaer On Air. You're listening to the vast, statewide, countrywide, and global Civic Media Radio Network.
For some kissing and a hugging. That's why I eat Christmas cookies all year long. Oh, take it away, boys. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, sugar. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe. The ones that look like Santa Claus, Christmas trees and bells and stars. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe.
Welcome back to Matenaer On Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, and Sweet Calby on the board. Coming to you live from our home at Radio Park in Racine.
It's Radio Ranch now.
You can always join us. You can call. You can text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. It is Christmas Eve. Checking the NORAD Santa tracker. He was just in the United Arab Emirates heading for Tehran. And we'll include the link for that if you want to share it with your little ones as Santa makes his way around the world. All right, we've been putting this off all morning, and we better get around to it because I'm so embarrassed. I forgot my cookies for the cookie exchange.
Calvin, do you buy that? Do you buy that she forgot her cookies?
I was here when she realized it, so I believe her.
Thank you. I mean, seriously, I came in and I sat down, and I was like, oh, my God, because I saw Calvin's container, and I'm like, I actually forgot to bring my cookies. You know what I did bring? I brought the recipe book that I
Which
got
cookie
it
did
from.
you make?
I made the chocolate cherry cheers.
Okay.
Mine don't look anything like that.
Oh, trust me, mine look.
Not even remotely close.
Yeah, mine look nothing like the book.
Mine look like something with a big blob of chocolate on top, but they taste pretty good. They can last till Monday. I'll bring you some. Calvin, what did Mom Butenhoff make?
Yeah, so she made her sour cream cookies passed down. I don't think they're especially a Christmas cookie other than that she only makes them for Christmas and puts red and green sprinkles on them.
And Greg Bach, what are these?
Those are called peanut butter thumbprints.
Peanut butter thumbprints.
Because you put a thumbprint on the cookie and then you put a chocolate candy on top.
What chocolate candy did you opt for?
Mini Snickers.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, they couldn't say the name in the book, so it's like it read very generic, like peanut butter thumbprint cookie with chocolate candy topping. Like, so yeah, it's a peanut butter cookie with a
mini Snickers on top.
With a mini Snickers on top.
You can't. That's hard. It's hard to go wrong with
Just
that.
be careful when you're eating it because it kind of falls apart fast.
Those look really good.
Yeah.
All right, I will dive into those in just a little bit. It's 11:54. We better get around to it. It's time for it, Calvin.
Ho, 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 ho! This shouldn't be a thing! Ho, 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 ho!
Today, it is the You Know Why I Pulled You Over edition of This Shouldn't Be a Thing. Headline reads, driver stopped in Wyoming for covering car in Christmas lights. From Ben Hooper. Police in Wyoming reminding people to decorate their homes for Christmas instead of their vehicles after a driver got pulled over with his car covered in Christmas lights. It looks great.
They're amazing.
It really looks cool. It's a Mustang, Ford Mustang. The Wyoming Highway Patrol put it up on social media showing this Ford Mustang pulled over by a trooper who noticed the entire vehicle was decked out in Christmas lights. The post reads, quote, as the holiday season approaches, we would like to remind you of a Wyoming statute. The statute in question states that no person shall drive or move any vehicle or equipment upon any highway with any lamp or device thereon capable of displaying a red or blue light visible from directly in front of the center thereof. Well, that cleared it right up.
Boy, do they write ballot measures for Wisconsin?
Sure
My
sounds like it.
goodness.
The Post said that while decorating a car might look cool and be festive, we would like to remind you it is illegal. Please remember to stay safe when celebrating this season. I think this should be a required thing.
I saw two of them this year.
You did?
Yeah, on 94. And I think they're legal if you use white or amber lights. You can't use color lights. But I saw two because when you pass them, they're covered in tape.
Oh, I'm sure. How
and you're
else
like, what is going on with that car? And you look closer, like, oh, they're covered in lights.
Oh,
exactly.
Interesting.
Then you realize I got to keep my eyes on the road because I am now staring at someone's car.
And that's a good point. And I can understand. Yes, I can understand why they don't want all of us to be driving around and moving Christmas trees on wheels. But the picture looks pretty cool.
The picture is very pretty.
How do you think he attached all those?
Patience.
Glue?
Tape.
Probably his
tape.
Mustang.
Probably tape because you can use gaff tape or blue tape that will not damage surfaces. That's it's like painter's tape will do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I mean, it probably won't last you very long. It's gonna, especially if you're driving in a Mustang, it's gonna rip off if you're driving fast.
If you're
but
going too fast, sure.
I would say tape is gonna be the best option. Let me see if I can
Well,
zoom in.
That wraps up today's episode of
Ho, 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 ho! This shouldn't be a thing!
We
Ho,
Have
ho,
News
ho,
coming
ho.
up next. We will be off, Greg and I, on Thursday and Friday. Dan
Yes.
Schaefer is going to be sliding in on Thursday, and Matt Rothschild will be here on Friday. We will be back on Monday morning. Thank you, Greg and Calvin, and all of our engineers, Soupmeister, and everyone across Civic Media. Without you guys, absolutely nothing works. And thank you most of all for calling and for texting and for listening. It absolutely means the world. I hope you find some joy over the next few days and you have the chance to share it. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, and be safe. And we'll see you next week. Stay here. You're listening to Civic Media Radio Network. Happy holidays, everybody.